Hello guys, how you doing?
Yeah, alright. Yeah.
Good,
Exciting
good.
stuff.
It is indeed. Actually, Kat, I realised last time we didn't actually introduce ourselves at all on the podcast.
That's helpful.
And that would be helpful this time. So, hello, I'm Maddy.
Hiya, I'm Kat.
And I would like to introduce our lovely guest today, Rory. So thanks for coming on.
Rory.
Hey!
I'm totally honoured to have been invited. Thank you very much, ladies.
Oh, no, we love you, Rory. Thanks for coming on.
My absolute pleasure.
Way.
What have I let myself in for?
Oh,
Well,
all kinds of debauchery, I think. So.
I know that you listened to the first podcast
It
we
was
did.
brilliant.
So.
It was really good. So professional. Check you guys out.
Oh, thank
Well.
God for that. Just rambling on and jobby jokes. That's all it was, isn't it? It's just
I love a good jobby joke.
phantom
I
jobby.
love
Been
Yeah.
researching as
Jobbies.
much jobby stuff as I can for this week. Don't worry.
Excellent. Well, and said that, Rory, what's, like, me and Kat kind of spoke last time about what we've been up to during all this madness, lockdown, all that jazz. So we'd love to hear from you. What's been happening?
What's been happening?
Yeah,
Oh,
what have you been
well,
up to?
a whole load of everything and a whole load of nothing. You know what it's been like. But I don't know. I mean, recently I've been doing quite a lot of charity work. So in the last sort of month or so, we've been doing some volunteering for Empty Kitchens Full Hearts, which I will from now
lovely.
on be calling Empty Hearts, because that's how we summarise them. But they're lovely, lovely people,
Nice.
honestly.
Sad.
So that's sort of like packing and delivering food around Leith.
Oh,
So that's
lovely.
kind of my only thing that I do outside and exercisey and gets me out there. So it's like my main kind of thing that I talk about, I guess. And inside, kind of the same as you guys. There's been lots of drinking and gaming and tons of television and hanging out with Charmaine, my fiancée.
Oh,
and,
lovely.
Oh, good.
and like you guys, I have a cat as well. We got our cat quite recently, so
When did you
yeah.
get him?
just before lockdown. So just before, he's called
Good
Alfie.
timing.
Yeah, and we've been training him within an inch of his life. The poor cat.
Training him to use the toilet rather than the litter box, like that sort of thing. Squatting over the toilet. Come on, Alfie, get out of there.
That's an amazing idea.
Oh God, what have I done?
Oh, we're into jobby jokes already. Here we go.
Minute
What
3.
kind of things? What kind of things have you been training them to do?
So
Like apart from the toilet.
we've got him to high five, and we've
Oh my
got him
God.
to sit, and Charmaine is currently teaching him to dance around her legs in a figure of 8. It's all exciting stuff. I mean, we're hoping for some kind of cat food advert when we come out of this, so that we can all become rich and famous. Exploit the cat.
Have you made an Instagram for him yet?
No, we should. Yeah, I mean,
on
Yeah,
that.
I mean,
Okay.
honestly, like thousands of followers a week sort of thing you're looking at. It's ridiculous. All sorts of kitty endorsements, you know.
It sells.
Put that
yep.
pussy out to pasture, I think. Like, I've been waiting to say that all day, to be honest. Working it in.
But you got a new kitten too, didn't you?
I did. His name's Laszlo, and he literally looks like a bat. He's got giant ears and he's black. He's amazing. He's currently terrorising downstairs. So my partner, Matty, is fielding that minefield right now.
Well, that's the one thing I've learned, because it's my first cat. I grew up with dogs.
Yeah.
And I've learned that they look sweet and lovely, but they're absolute terrors, and they just knock everything over. All my
Did
Star
you-
Wars Lego has hit the deck already, I can tell
Oh
you.
no! Yeah, that's the last you'll be seeing of it as well. It'll just disappear completely. Did you get Alfie as a kitten?
No, he was 5. He was a rescue cat. We got him from Dunfermline.
Oh, I'm in
Yeah.
Dunfermline.
I
Whereabouts?
know.
Whereabouts?
It's just outside. It's like the Fife Cat Rescue Home.
I love the cat. Yeah, I know which one you mean actually. We've got a family cat who, shout out to Chico, by the way. Chico's like 16. Chico. He's like 16, 17 now. And we've had him since he was 1. So I've had him for more than half my life. And he was from the Cat Protection League, and he is just, he is my prince. Sorry, Laszlo, if you can.
Is Chico's is he a Maine Coon?
Yeah.
As well?
Yeah.
So is he big then? Are Maine Coons not huge?
Yeah, he's like big paws, gigantic foxy tail, that sort of thing. I actually went to go and see him and my parents, obviously, last night. And Chico has put on so much fucking weight. Like, I needed both forearms under him to lift him. And he's always been a big cat, but he's never been chubby. But he's put on some amount of lockdown weight. Because obviously my parents haven't been working, they've been furloughed. So he's been getting like 3 sachets a day, just living in luxury.
3 sachets a day?
I actually turned to my parents and I was like, do you guys not see him? He is fucking gigantic. Like, he's bigger than the Hoover. So I got a bit of a fright seeing him. I was like, you have to put him on a diet. He's never been a big cat in his life, and now he's monstrous. So
good luck putting him on a
more
diet.
fluff to
Good
love, I
luck
guess,
with
but,
that.
yeah. The thing is, he is an old man. He doesn't really go out anymore. Like, he eats. He likes to eat.
Yeah.
You know, why
That's
take
his
that away
pastime.
from him? Yeah,
Yeah.
it's his pastime. That's my pastime. It's not good.
Lockdown has been mine too. I mean, we've all put on a little weight in lockdown.
I'm liking
yeah.
the beard though, Rory.
Oh, thanks very
Obviously,
much.
the listeners won't be able to see any of us, but Rory's got a fantastic beard right now.
It's another one of my lockdown projects.
It's actually cat
I'm
fur.
glad you've gone with the beard and not the moustache that I see everyone has at the moment.
Hey, I like a moustache. I'm not going to lie about that.
I like a moustache, but not the over-styled ones.
Oh, what,
You know, the
like
Dr.
wax?
Evil kind of ones. You twist at the end. It's a bit weird.
I feel like if I had a moustache, I'd be twisting it like that. I would be getting right up to
I think
those
I want like
points.
full Wild West, Deadwoody,
Yes.
huge, big
Yeah.
Sam
handlebar.
Elliott big
Yes,
one.
yeah.
That's the one. I can but dream.
That's amazing.
I was just going to say the charity work, Rory, sounds amazing.
It is, it is, but it's quid pro quo because I have to say, I mean, we were always, I think a lot of people out there were obviously looking for volunteering really early, and there was nothing, obviously there's nothing to do, you know, up in Scotland actually things weren't that bad and things, but you know, I think we're beginning to see more of the economic downturn and the people who are starting to need food for not just lockdown and social distancing reasons.
Yeah.
So actually, since lockdown, these guys have now delivered 70,000 meals around Leith in Edinburgh. And it's only growing and it's only getting bigger and the need's only getting bigger. So, you know, I think we feel really happy to be a part of it, but also, like I said, it gets me out the house and it gets me talking to people and it sort of helps me from going mad, really. So, you know, it's good, but we get something out of it too.
Yeah, I mean, the one thing I'm terrified about sort of life becoming a little bit more normal, like just being around people again, and I think that's what I'm most scared about. I've created this lovely little hermit life in my house, and to go out and re-socialise with people is actually quite daunting. So at least you've been easing back into it, like with
and it has helped,
work
and we've noticed with our friends that we're actually now more adjusted to seeing people because we're, you know, doing that and going door to door and seeing people and working in groups and packing food is what we do, packing as well. So we're working in that environment. But you know, they're very good. They're very good with their masks and their distance and their gloves.
Good.
And obviously it's food hygiene as well. So
Yeah.
they're kind of ready for that. But I think we're a little more adjusted. You know, it's tough, and I feel weird going to speak to people too. I mean, I don't know how you found it, but it's odd.
Yeah, I just feel like the last 4 months have been a total blur. Like, I couldn't... this is what I was saying to Mads before. Like, I couldn't tell you really what I've been up to. I know bits and pieces that I've been up to, but actually the day-to-day aspect, like, fuck knows what I've been doing. It's been an absolute blur.
Well,
like
you I remember you saying in the previous podcast that you don't remember where April went, essentially.
Yeah.
And I can tell you that for April for me was just Minecraft. That's all it was. I found Minecraft at the start of April. I found it at the start of April, and I haven't played it since. But that's all it was. It was like I regressed into my own little hidden universe.
I mean, that sounds fantastic, though.
Built myself a house, stayed there for a month, and then came back out into the real world.
In saying that, I did that with The Sims busting out on the Xbox. I built my own little life. I became a mad scientist. I had a baby. That baby then got taken away by social services.
No.
And then I had another baby. Don't know what happened. It was a whirlwind. But yeah.
I think that's good though. I think like everyone's done that though. We're not the only ones. It's like you've got to kind of let that happen for that month that we can't remember. That's absolutely fine. And then, as you say, it is quite kind of daunting, kind of coming back. And like, especially now, just today when I was out, it was, because everything's opening back up again. Well, a lot of things. And there's so many people out and about. And, it's like, and not just that, it's so many people are like coughing quite close to you.
Oh.
I've noticed that quite a bit. And I'm like, obviously, I kind of cross the road when it happens. But because it's like, oh, everything's okay now, everyone goes back outside, and you kind of forget almost that this kind of ever happened.
You say forget, it wasn't that long ago things were normal, so it's...
Yeah. But it feels like, the fact that Primark opened today, have you seen all the pictures of people queuing up for Primark?
No,
so, there is one in Edinburgh, isn't there?
Yeah, there is.
Oh, well, there was loads of photos and videos from the Dunfermline one opening. And it's like, so there's a big long street up to the Primark called Eastport, and people were lined up almost that whole street to get in. And it's like, I see things like that, and I do understand that there'll be a lot of people that they need to buy clothes for their children. Like, Primark is really cheap and it's really easy, and I can see from a certain point of view... And
kids will have grown out of their clothes from 4 months ago.
Well, this is it, yeah. But then there's other people that I know don't really need to be there, and it's like, was the last 4 months all for nothing, We've all suffered, and then people are just treating it like fucking nothing's happened. And then obviously we can start talking about Bournemouth Beach and all that sort of stuff, like, from the past weekend. But it's just like, why have we really done this? That people just don't really seem to care anymore.
I think it's like
weird.
It's almost like grasping onto a sense of normality, kind of doing stuff like that. Because that's something you would normally do. You just pop into Primark
it's like
or
Dawn of the Dead
shop.
Or something, when everybody all ends up going back to the shopping centre even though they've died.
They're all dead, but they still want their leggings.
Your first trip out to Primark, way! Exactly that.
I just don't really understand it, to be honest.
But I don't know about you guys, but on the way into this, I didn't trust the government or any of the public, and on the way out of it, it's going to be exactly the same. You've got to look
I don't trust
yourself.
anyone. No, like
no.
I just It's hard without being controversial and talking about things, but then again, I know quite a lot of people are in the same boat, but it's just really interesting, isn't it?
I think it's almost like, I feel that I've just chatting to people and they're like, because like furlough's going to be running out pretty soon, or stopping. So they're like, well, shit, we've still got this virus going around. We don't, the actual, without getting too much, depressing in detail, we don't really know the numbers exactly, because obviously they never kind of published that in the first place. But it's almost like, well, the money's running out on that side, so quick, everyone, get back to work and do normal things and get out there and yes, economy, function, get the money back in.
Yeah.
And it is that debate, because obviously, like, I'm feeling like, way at the same time, like, maybe there's, chance of more work coming in, that side of it, but at the back of your mind, you're like, it's still kind of floating there. It's still there.
Yeah. The nice thing is, at least Scotland is sort of, from what you can see anyway on BBC News, who can trust the BBC, but it literally, should I have said that? Should that get bleeped out?
No.
Depends how many employers listen to your podcast.
Wow. Shot myself in the foot there. Because obviously they're reporting on BBC News that Scotland is beginning to like decelerate completely here, isn't it? That it's not spreading, people aren't really dying anymore of it.
No deaths in 4 days as of today.
Yeah.
Well, I saw that actually on the SNP Facebook. I would just like to point that out. But, that's really inspiring seeing that, because it's like, right, well, lockdown is working then. Something is working, at least, But the thing I'm most excited to see is the fact that the English pubs will open this weekend.
Do explain yourself.
I don't know how that's going to go down, because you know what British people are like, and how far they take their drinking. as
Well,
a glug,
there
a glass
have
of
been
wine
pubs.
with it.
I live just off of Easter Road, and there have been pubs here which have tried to legally open and had people in them. I may know a couple of people who got hauled out by the police recently, and
Really?
it's not smart, but
No.
it's gonna happen.
No. I mean, it is. It's just, as soon as you give anyone like a metre, they'll take a mile, won't they? It's like...
Okay, I've got one for you. I've got one for you too.
Here we go.
Mm-hmm.
My mate today, and I won't name names because he's probably going to listen to this, but my mate today
Wow.
told me that he's off on holiday with his family to Spain. How do you feel about that?
When are they leaving?
Oh,
I think in about a month.
Right. In a month.
okay.
I read something... No, was it? Oh, no, mate, I think my stepmum was telling me something, actually, about... Because obviously Spain are dying for the tourism now, you know?
Yeah. And they've built this corridor of travel thing.
Mm-hmm.
What's the corridor of travel?
So there's places that you can go to now where you don't have to isolate if you go to or from because, I don't know, because they don't think it'll spread or something, or they've got it worse than we do or something, so it doesn't matter. I don't know, but they've created this. They've created this. I mean, honestly, that's kind of what they think about. So it's. But anyway, I can't remember. Is it Spain, Italy, and somewhere else that you can go to on your holidays now? I mean, I just can't understand why somebody would want to go through an airport at the moment if they didn't have to.
No.
I would say no to that right now.
I mean,
completely.
I'm not planning on trying to go to abroad until middle of next year. Like, I just can't be arsed. Even just like booking something and then it'll end up getting cancelled. Like, just from that sort of point of view of money and hassle. Obviously, the virus and everything, of course, but just from like a money hassle point of view, I just couldn't be arsed.
All I can say is, thank God we don't have the festival this year.
Oh, all you Edinburghers are going to have the most wonderful August.
Oh, yes.
But I kind of hope it leaves a little artistic gap for somebody to find something to do to entertain us, in the safe way and all the rest of it. But, it'd be quite nice to have something, and I'm not saying the festival isn't this, but something just for Edinburgh people this year. Okay, we've got this gap and we're going to enjoy having a quiet town and all the rest of it, but, there's also this lack of... that's our one. We cram all our art into that month in Edinburgh, and it's going to be missing. And it'd be nice if that gap was filled with something else.
That's a really great idea. Actually, I'd never really thought about that. I mean, obviously, I live in Dunfermline, so I'm out with the Edinburgh mix. But I absolutely love the Fringe. I really do. And obviously, I don't have to live through it. That's the difference. I can come and visit and leave again. So I don't have the same sort of, not hatred by any means, but probably like a bittersweet relationship with it.
It is, it's love-hate, absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely that,
yeah. Like, I will miss it this year.
Oh, yeah, I mean, definitely miss it in terms of, like, as I was saying, like, last time in the podcast, like, work and, just having a night out and seeing a good show.
Going
like,
down the Cowgate.
And drinking till 6 in the morning.
Oh, Cowgate until
Exactly.
6. Do miss a bit of that.
That's been a while.
Speaking of which...
I don't think I've actually lasted till that long.
I'll put in the sound effect for those listening at home.
Hey!
Oh, that's a good sound.
But I think...
ladies.
Cheers.
Oh, cheers. I think you're right, there is room for kind of locals to be creative during the festival. I mean, we have outdoor spaces. We could have an outdoor theatre show. We could have an outdoor, comedy, where everyone's sitting outside, spaced out.
Some music in the meadows. Absolutely.
Music in the meadows. It's all doable if it's just done correctly.
I really love this idea. Like, that's something just for the Edinburgh population. That's a really great idea.
Exactly.
We should do it. We should make something.
You know how we were doing Thursday clapping and everything, and there was the last one, which some of us may have missed the point of, but I won't go into that. But so it turns out that the guy across, and I'm pointing, and it's a podcast, so there's pointless, but the guy across the road from me, he is at the conservatoire learning saxophone, and so he's been, he's been playing saxophone all through lockdown to the street.
Oh, lovely.
And then on that last final Thursday, he came out and he played Somewhere Over the Rainbow. And I mean, I was actually in tears. It was beautiful, you know. And it's just that connection of music and situation.
Yeah.
And, you know, it was just wonderful. And you know, music's a great healer, and I think we need it.
Oh,
Yeah,
that's just like the sort of the videos that came out at the beginning of lockdown of all the Italian families like playing music and doing little like plays and all that sort of stuff on their balconies. Like, I just really loved that. It was so
now, to be fair, sometimes he was just doing his scales, and Charmaine was shouting, "Just play something we know, for God's sakes!" Like, you know.
Oh,
So
God.
how's it been around your bit, Rory, with like your neighbours and kind of like general kind of helping each other out? Has there been more of that?
I
going
think
on,
you
or
guys.
has
I
it
think
stayed
you
the
guys
same?
have been much better than us. Listening to you guys last week. So, Charmaine and I, at the very start, put a notice on our communal notice board saying, if there's anybody who needs anything, any shopping, you know, dogs walked, whatever it is, give us a yell and put our phone numbers. But we never heard anything. Of course, because actually this building's fairly affluent, and you know, everybody was looking out for themselves. And actually, I think there's quite a lot of you know, lets in this flat, and what we're trying to say, Airbnbs in this place. So maybe not that. You know, Edinburgh, centre of Edinburgh. So so nothing really. The few people we know, we've been looking out for each other. The lady across the hallway is from Italy, and I think was obviously very worried and very concerned early on. But you know, also everybody looks at each other like, you know, like it is a zombie movie as well. You know what I mean? So it's that weird balance. I think now people are beginning to look out for each other a little more and talk a little more. But Easter Road's always been a bit like the Wild West, to be honest. So you know.
Well, and I was going to say actually, because when the football matches have been on, like Easter Road's, like the pubs down Easter Road are like absolutely full. Chock-a-block, and you obviously see that more than ourselves.
Yeah, when Hibs won the cup, there was a guy outside our window singing the same song for 3 days, and I mean 3 days. Yeah, I think it's funny because I don't know if you guys saw the footage from outside Anfield, and when Liverpool won the league this week, there was massive celebrations outside of Anfield, and Charmaine was saying, and Charmaine was saying, you know, if Hibs had won something, would it have been the same? It would have been worse. It would have been. You know, the chances of Hibs winning anything, however, are... Okay, again, delete that. Delete.
We'll bleep
Sorry,
it
out.
But, you know, it is a bit weird. You know, Easter Road's narrow pavements, and, you know, we've had to be out and in amongst it since the beginning, so...
Yeah.
You know, it's fine now.
Did you get a chance? Did anyone get a chance to? I think I was saying to Kat last time. At the start of lockdown, you know, it was absolutely dead in town. Like, it was just empty, and that was the best time. We used to go out for walks pretty much every day along Princes Street, you know, Royal Mile, and you could just walk in the street. It was brilliant. And now obviously there's more traffic and all that kind of stuff. Did you get a chance to do that at all and kind of soak up something that we might not ever see again?
Well, personally, I did. I love it. I love it. I don't know if you remember, there was a fuel strike many years ago, and all the cars were off the road, and I made it my purpose to walk down the middle of every street I could at the time. It's just that sort of slight sense of rebelliousness, you know, of being able to do something you wouldn't normally do. So I got on the bike and went out as much as I could. You know, within reason at the time. It's you know, it's like the start of 28 days later, is it? It's, you know, it's amazing to see your city.
Perfect.
Without tourists and stuff in it. What about you, Kat?
I mean, you know, obviously Edinburgh's too far for me to go out to. I mean, I would have loved to have seen Princes Street empty. That would have been something else. Although I did see that drone footage. I think I sent it to you, Maddy.
Yes. Yeah.
And that was insane. It was like, what was it? The Royal Mile, Princes Street, and Lothian Road. That was the other one. And it was dead. It was amazing. But Dunfermline, I mean, there's no streets I would really want to walk down Dunfermline, like empty or not. So I'm kidding. I love it.
Yeah, but then you've got the countryside right in your doorstep as well.
Well,
you've got that benefit.
This is it. And the nice thing is, because obviously we're still technically in our 5 mile limit, aren't we, to travel for exercise and that sort of shit. So the beach that I usually go swimming to is only 4.7 miles away. So Yeah, I mean, that's one reason I wanted to settle in Fife anyway, just because it's countryside and coastal, you know, so everything's on your doorstep. Although, so I went kayaking whenever that really hot day was it Saturday? No, it was last Thursday, sorry. Last Thursday, it was like, 29 degrees. It was beautiful. So went to Aberdour, and just like Bournemouth Beach, it was fucking rammed. Like, the good thing is we were kayaking, so obviously in the water, there was no one in the water. So you weren't near anybody, like we weren't on the beach.
It is the perfectly socially distanced exercise.
Oh, it's fantastic. But it's like we ended up speaking to this guy who also started kayaking, and he ended up just tagging along with us. And he came down from Stirling to Dunfermline just to go to Aberdour Beach. And obviously Stirling's quite a way away from us. But it was just because they wanted to come down and enjoy the beach. So it was a bit like, oh, that's naughty. Don't tell me that.
Do you know what I'm thinking? Like, do you think there's been quite a lot of people that have just not really stuck to that?
Oh,
5 mile
Oh,
radius
yeah.
and just
yeah,
gone.
yeah.
So they're like, yeah, just go out. You can go to another household, right? Fuck it. Going in the car. I'm going everywhere.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I think they account for it to a degree in all their algorithm. You know, I think there are behaviour or whatever you call them, human behaviour, people looking at us going, well, a certain number of people will do that. But then I think, you know, without getting into the politics, if somebody like, I don't know, Dominic Cummings goes and does what he did, then that's going to increase things massively. And I think it proved to be honest. And, you know, I think messaging really matters.
Yeah. I mean, who's driving... 150 miles blind up to Newcastle just to... let's not get into that.
Yeah, let's not.
Oh, absolutely ridiculous.
We know what's going on, so there it is.
The elite.
Do you know, I was going to say I was out, staying at Cat last night at Bristol Square quite a bit, skating in the lovely weather that's now gone. Please come back. And there was this guy who had recognised, it took a while, and I was like, oh shit, yeah, I've worked with him on like a film and a couple of adverts, and he was an extra.
Alright.
And he was on like neon quads, came over, and I was like, alright, cool, little way still in Blades. Came over, said hi, and I was like, oh no, please don't come to me. He was fucking mental. I remember trying to dodge him when I was on set anyway, because he was one of those ones that just like talked too much, or really, really intense.
Yeah.
Anyway, so I was like, right, he was like, oh, we work together, and I was like, okay, that's nice, that's fine. But then he started going, can I have your number? Give me your number, I'll add you on WhatsApp.
No.
And I was like, sorry, I don't give out a number, all that kind of jazz. And then he started going on this massive spiel about how, he's going to be the next James McAvoy, and he was almost Robert Carlyle's stunt double, and like really, really intense, like in your face. And I was just like, for a skate, and I was like, oh, you're ruining my buzz, mate.
Love an intense extra.
God. Yeah, he literally cleared the spot around me with the people I was with just because he was too much. And I was like, oh, God, I really hope I don't see you again.
Well, we've all met that extra, even if it's not that extra.
Oh.
Have any of you guys had an encounter like that outside of work where you bumped into like an extra and they've come up to you and, said hi or been a bit crazy?
There's an extra that lives in Dunfermline, and he shops at the same Aldi I do. But we get on really well, to be honest. He's been a long-term extra on Outlander. I just have loads of time for him, so anytime I see him, I'm like, all right, Colin, how you doing? It's always at the queue in Aldi, always at the checkout, so it makes it really awkward because obviously the checkout assistants of Aldi throw your shit at you, so it's just not a great place to have catch-ups. But yeah, I always see Colin. Yeah,
I think I know what you're talking about.
Yeah,
Colin, he's lovely.
Curly hair, he's lovely.
He's one of the good ones.
Yeah. I mean, to be honest, Outlander extras are just the most fantastic people. I just love them. I just absolutely love them. Yeah. I mean, I've kept in touch with quite a lot of them, actually, in saying that.
Do you friend extras on Facebook?
No, they friend me.
I mean, okay, yeah, but do you accept their friendship on Facebook?
Depends who it is. It depends who it is. Oh God, now this whole topic is just gonna have to get bleeped, isn't it? Like, we cannot put this out there. I mean, most of them are fine, because obviously in Scotland the extra group are quite. I mean, you get the same people on every single job. Let's be fair. And most of them are fantastic, you know. And I think going back to Outlander, I think spending so many years on it, and it's all the same people every year. I just love it. You end up becoming quite pally with people. In terms of crazy people that I've seen outside of work, probably not. I don't think I've bumped into anyone a bit mental. Yeah. But then again, I'm in Fife. I'm in the arse end of nowhere. So.
That's true.
It's all crazy people in Fife.
It's all crazy. Just fucking used to it at this point. So.
Exactly.
What about you, Rory?
I mean,
I
just before lockdown was at a party with an extra that I didn't want to bump into, and it was incredibly intense, and she was here the whole time. It was, you know, but, you know, she was... It's all born out of love. Do you know what I mean? It's born out of love of wanting to do well in theatre, or, you know, some kind of acceptance, or finding something that they're, you know, that they're very excited in. So, you know, I get it, but that intensity, especially, you know, look, it's always when you're trying to do your job on set, isn't it? When you're, you know, just trying to concentrate on something, and you know, they're chatting away, and it's, you know, I would be that person. If I go be an extra, I'm going to be the worst one. I'm chatty. I'll run to the front of the food queue every time, you know, all that kind of stuff. I'm going to be the worst one. So, you know, I get it.
Absolutely.
After one of my very first jobs, you know, with working with lots of extras, was World War Z, and it was an amazing experience. I loved it. 600 extras. Such joy and love and great catering. Everybody was happy, and you know, like afterwards, just being in Glasgow, having 600 people who knew me, I couldn't walk down the street without people coming up to me and going, "Hey, how's it going?" You know, I felt famous. It was amazing. I loved it.
That's lovely.
We went to see Metronomy, and I forgot my tickets. And the bouncer was one of the extras. He was like, "Rory, don't worry about it. Come in." You know, you're like, "Oh my God."
Amazing.
I thought it was always going to be like this, but it's not.
No. It wears away very quickly.
Yeah, right.
I totally, I totally get what you're saying, like, with that. Obviously, there's a sense, I mean, we kind of feel the same way as well. You want to make a good impression as well, you know, when you're seeing people. And that kind of brings me on to... almost like that kind of feeling that you don't want to let folk down. Say when you're on set, you're working, and especially now because we've had a wee bit of gap of time, and you're kind of conscious about, you know, am I going to get a call for some work? Are people, do they still know that I exist? You know, especially, you know, if you're not posting kind of frequently on Instagram and, you know, Facebook, all that kind of stuff.
Yeah. And
it's, I suppose, like, you always get that kind of fear that you're going to let folk down, and a feel of failure, I suppose. Like, I don't know if anyone else has felt that way. I suppose it's a bit of imposter syndrome that's kind of going on with a lot of jobs.
All I feel. I don't know about you, Kat. That's all I feel on set.
I mean, half the time, I'm just like, what am I actually doing here? Sometimes it is just like having like an outer body experience of being like, how am I here? What has brought me to this point in my life? Yeah, I mean, I feel that almost constantly, but I mean, don't feel worried about having an imposter syndrome when it comes to getting calls for work. And like I say, I do see where you're coming from, but you know, we've worked for years in this industry now, you know, like, and we've worked very hard for it, so don't feel too worried about that sort of thing.
Oh no, I think it's something I'm always quite kind of hopeful about it, and I suppose everyone is, but you know, you can't help but feel that way sometimes when you're on set. You know what I mean? When you're kind of like, especially if you're in like, you know, a kind of large kind of crowd, you know, working with people, different makeup artists, and, you know, in crowd, all that kind of stuff, and you're like, oh shit, you know, what are they thinking? Have I done a shit job? All that kind of stuff. But then, you know, at the time you feel that way, but then, you know, I think it's, as you say, after time, you know, working in the industry, after years, stuff like that kind of starts to deplete a little bit. But it's always there. It's always a baseline.
Well, I think it's because we've all had to a degree, maybe ADs more than makeup artists, we've all had to fake it till we make it, you know, and so you kind of carry that with you, and you know,
it's like
Sure.
No, I was going to say, it's like, when does the fakery get caught out almost? Not like, it's not like that at all, but sometimes it feels like that. Like, when are people going to catch on to me? Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
Lord.
It's true though. Come on, like how many times, right, have you been like, right, can you do this? Like, say the company be like, oh, we need this quick makeup done or whatever, and you're like, shite, haven't done that in years, shite. You're like, yeah, that's fine.
Yeah.
Like, totally do it. And then you're at the back of your head, you're like, oh shit, I hope I don't get caught out.
Yeah, but then you
If
do
goes
it and it's
tits
like,
up.
but then you do it and it's like riding a bike, and it's just, like, you just sort of realise that you can do it, and why were you worried about it in the first place?
Exactly.
And I think we all learned that we're all thinking the same thing as well. Unless, you can look at a grizzled spark and they've always supposed to have been there, and that's fine. But the vast majority of us know, and we kind of learned that we're all in that same position, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, yeah.
Yeah, sometimes I feel like it's even with ages as well, because, I think when you're working on set, I don't really think about people being older or younger than me. It just sometimes feels like we're all within the same age bracket, which obviously I know is not true anyway.
But we're all children, though, really.
I mean,
That's why we do this, Joe.
I mean, like... with the amount of jobby jokes and the amount of fanny jokes, and I mean, we are all literally pubescent. It's ridiculous. But yeah, I know exactly what you mean. It's just trying to shake that feeling off.
I don't know. One of the first times I was a runner, I went up and without anybody telling me to, I went up to the sound assistant and asked him how long he was going to take to do something, and he just turned round to me and went, "Stop trying to build your part." Now, he was entirely right. Of course he was, because I was, and I didn't know how it went. But that kind of stuck with me for a long time. That kind of like, oh God, what? I don't really know what I'm doing.
Yeah.
Wow.
And as a runner, you always learn by failure. There's now we've got Hit the Ground Running, and now we've got a few courses. Alex Mackay did a good course recently through Beck too, teaching runners, all the rest of it. But really, you learn by failure, and you learn by getting things wrong, and you've always got that oh God, looking over your shoulder thing.
Yeah. Oh.
Absolutely. And I think like I kind of find it, especially on, as much as I love doing adverts, and that's kind of like bread and butter, as my kind of main job. It's especially when you have lots of clients around, and all the eyes are on you, and they just go, right, I want that, and then the producer runs to you and says, right, you need to do this, and then you feel, if you're especially under pressure, and
and then the AD says you've got 3 minutes as well.
Yeah, and then you're like, oh shit, I've let and then you come away from it. At the time, you're like, right, just get this done, do it. But when you come away from it and you have that kind of moment to yourself when you come back and you're like, shit, like, was that okay? What are they thinking? What's the end product? All that kind of stuff. I mean, that does kind of circulate in your head quite a bit. But then you get a nice, like an email or a phone call from the producer or something like that saying, did a great job, thanks team. And you're like, oh, okay, that's all right.
I mean, and that is true. I've never had a professional sense of achievement any bigger than I've had on a film set as well. Of being able to pull something off or being able to do something difficult. So it is swings and roundabouts, isn't it? And I'm sure it's the same for everyone in every job.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Are you guys worried about going back to work and the regulations involved, and how are you guys feeling about it?
I'm not that worried. Makeup's the most hygienic department anyway, It's just altering the way we're working, and there's going to be a couple of extra steps, especially when it comes to disinfecting and sterilising everything between actors, and because you would only use clean things for each person regardless, but now there's a case of making a point of it, and obviously washing hands, changing gloves, sterilising gloves, all that sort of stuff as well. And obviously we're going to have to start working in gloves, face mask and visors.
And what about like working in a makeup, van, and that enclosed environment and all that kind of stuff? I mean, I know there'll be less people and all the rest of it, but how do you feel about that kind of thing?
It doesn't bother me, like, because you can get not odorizers, what are they called?
You might need that too.
No. airborne disinfectants that you spray, and it obviously cleanses the air and that sort of stuff. And like you can get air diffusers and all that sort of stuff.
Yeah.
It doesn't bother me. It's just a case of spreading us out. So if you're on a makeup truck, you don't sit beside each other. There has to be room for everyone to spread out. And obviously it means that you can't have, obviously, on makeup trucks now, you can have all your kit out, all your brushes, everything's ready to go. But now I don't think anything can be uncovered. So you can't just have your brushes sat in tubs in front of you and all that sort of stuff. So everything will have to be a bit more like, a bit more thought out and planned, and which is fine. Like I'm quite into my organisation anyway, so it doesn't really, the idea of it doesn't bother me. And like, because obviously I'm going on to a job in a couple of weeks down in London, and so I'm making individual palettes for each actor. So they're basically their full face of makeup will be in a palette that's sealed, and each little pan is got a lid on it, and it's all going to be really clean and all that sort of stuff. And then every actor is going to have their own set bag, and every actor's brushes will be in a wallet within that set bag. So everything will be so clean, disinfected, sterile, kept separate. Yes, completely. So because I know that this is the steps I'm taking for reintroducing back into work, I just don't feel worried about it. It's just being sensible, you know, and using common sense and knowing that you can't use one thing for one person and not the other, and that sort of thing.
What kind of, without getting too specific, what kind of budget is this show that you're going on to?
Oh, it's an independent, low budget kind of feature film. I mean, enough to get makeup by, at least, which is good. Because obviously,
the only reason I ask is I've been thinking about it. We've obviously looked at the regulations that have been coming through and stuff, but a lot of the things I've read have been for high end, big budget things that can cope with it, and obviously it had to be that. I understand why it was that, to get that industry moving along quickly, but
yeah,
I really start to worry about how you adapt that for an Edinburgh-based small advert, and how to make it fun. It's all about money at the end of the day, right? It's how to make
as you're saying, I'm kind of with Kat on this one. I'm not worried about the application process, sitting down with people. I think that's all doable. Absolutely doable. It's staggered. Obviously, that's going to implement more time with how many. So that's going to be a bigger issue, which is probably going to cost more money for the shooting days. It's the other thing is actually getting all this kind of stuff for your kit, because I know a lot of the time in adverts and kind of smaller jobs, you don't, for makeup, well, for myself anyway, I don't really get kit cover.
No.
So what I'm worried about is, what's the workaround going to be? Are they going to cut down on your wage and to put that money into, the actual overall cost of the filming day? And then how is that going to affect, if you're doing, as you say, like local adverts, local kind of things for your kit? Because it's fine if you've got a budget and say you're away for like a month or two on a select project, fine. All your artists can have those separate brushes, etc. And then you can probably give them to them at the end or whatever. Their brushes can be sterilised. It's just people are freaking out about it, and it's like, well, you've got to think. It's like, yeah, we're going to have close contact with people in the seat, but you're in the supermarket. You've got close contact with people there, so it's exactly the same thing. And it's like if you're shooting indoors as well, there's still a chance that you could, it's circulated air. So no matter what, you're kind of at the same risk.
But again, it's never about zero risk, is it? It's always about reducing risk, right? It's always just about making it as safe as it can be. That's all it's ever been about, risk assessing. It's all it ever is.
Yeah.
But what I mean, I think we're all on the same page here. It's just the thing about, like, in order to make it as safe as it can be, will there be as much work? No, definitely not, because they're going to need to spend a lot more money to make it safe. We're all going to feel the impact of that, and I think we know that. And I'm not particularly depressed about that. It's just like acceptance and how do you make it work?
Yeah, I also don't think it'll be forever. I think that a lot of these productions that are going back, it'll be a case of a teething process of feeling it out and kind of understanding that it's going to have to be a different way of working. And I think it is just figuring it out. I think that once people find their feet with it, it'll start to get a bit easier.
I totally agree. So you talk about your worries in your department. Mine are always time-based. They're always like, how long is it going to take? You know? And I think we will find, I hate to use the phrase, we'll find our new normal. You know, we'll find how long it takes to do a COVID makeup change and a COVID thing and that. And everything's going to take longer. And I really hope it doesn't impact the amount of hours that we work. Because, you know, and it wasn't great at the starting point.
But even...
It's going to earlier start for us. Way.
But even they're saying, you know, that, you know, actors won't be able to... they'll have to social distance still. That's going to impact a whole hell of a lot of kind of scripts and creative writing and...
Yeah. And we were talking about them earlier, extras. You know, we're not.
Exactly.
There can be a lot less extras on set and a lot less people making money through that as well.
Oh, it upsets me. Some of my funnest working memories are literally in the Outlander crowd room. Like, so much fun, like 260 extras in a morning sort of thing. You would just never see that anywhere, and it's going to be interesting to see how that gets implemented when it decides to come back. You know, but it's kind of heartbreaking. Like. I love a crowd room.
So I once got 2 cakes from an old lady because I placed her next to Brad Pitt. Do I get 1 cake for 2 meters? I don't know how it's going to work anymore.
These are the questions that keep you up at night, Rory.
Exactly, man. It's a new world out there.
There was a really interesting article about TV and film, and they said that they think there's going to be a surge of films that are either based in space or underwater because of the, you know, the social distance aspect of it, that there might only be 1 or 2 cast members in the whole film. I just thought that was really interesting, and I'm actually quite down for that. I would love to do a wee space, little space
especially
epic.
if it's comedy, bit more comedy, that would be grand.
A one-man comedy space adventure, like. Don't know if I can see it. Right, let's start writing it. Well.
Hang on. I think... the Sandra Bullock one, Gravity. Just make Gravity.
Just do Gravity times 100. Just alter it 100 different times. I'm sure we'll make so much money.
Bit funnier for Maddy, and it'll be fine.
Oh, fucking brilliant. I'm down for that, guys. That's the next job. That's it lined up.
So another thing I've been doing through lockdown is, through the last 43 years, is reconnecting with Star Wars. I can't help myself. It's that childhood reconnection thing. And I've been watching a lot of Star Wars Clone Wars, which is an animated series. Obviously, we're going to see a lot more of them as well. And I just got to the end of it, and honestly, the second last episode of it, and this will mean I'm sure neither of you into Star Wars, but honestly, the second last episode, I was in buckets of tears. It was like watching Chernobyl all over again.
For God's sake!
I know. I mean, okay, animated childhood Star Wars. Okay, maybe not quite like Chernobyl, but honestly, it was tough.
Well, Rory, that's quite alright, seeing as I was crying at an episode like Star Trek quite recently as well, so you're all good.
Yeah, I heard, man. I
mean...
And I have to take umbrage with something you said in podcast 1. You talked about old Star Trek. Old Star Trek is not Next Generation. Old Star Trek is Captain Kirk. We all know
it is Captain Kirk.
Oh, God.
You are very
Opening
right.
a whole can of worms.
I actually thought that. I thought, shit, after I'd said it, I was like, oh, I'm going to get a lot of Trekkie fans on my back now.
You alienated all the 40-year-olds in your listener group there, I tell you.
The hate mail is going to come flooding in.
Sorry, everybody who's Star Trek fans. Sorry.
Or maybe it's just the fact that I've had half this bottle of wine now. I don't know.
I mean, that is a pretty good-looking bottle of wine. Oh, I'm partial to a bit of red myself. Whoo-wee.
And we've also been watching a lot of Deadwood as well.
Good.
Which I don't know if you ever watched back in the day, but I thoroughly recommend.
No, I never
watch
watched it,
that.
actually.
It's brilliant.
Oh, man, it's written in an iambic pentameter. Some of the best TV you'll ever watch.
Oh, really? I mean, I'm season 18 balls deep into The Simpsons, so...
Wow.
Season 18 shit. I mean, it got shit after, like, season 12, to be honest, but I'm still going on with it.
Yeah, I've been picking and choosing, but I'm mostly between, like, about season 4 and 7-ish.
Yeah, I think because the original writers left in, like, season 7 or season 8, didn't they? So
Conan
it kind of
O'Brien and all that lot, yeah.
Yeah, went way downhill after that. But I'm still enjoying it from the nostalgic point of view.
Monorail.
Yes! Simpsons fan over here. I mean, to be honest, as soon as we finish this call, I'm going to go and watch the Goofy movie. So I am such a kid. I know, it's ridiculous, isn't it?
Aww,
I know, I'm living
not.
vicariously through Disney Plus, okay? Like, living through my childhood again, it's great. Oh.
I started watching, I don't know if you've seen it, it's called House.
Oh, with Hugh Laurie.
Yes, yeah.
I never did, but I always thought I'd
No,
love
I
it.
didn't either.
Don't watch it, it's bloody awful.
Oh, well, that's the end of that.
Just, it was recommended to me, right? And I was like, oh, go on, I'll give it a wee go, because I quite like him as an actor. And yeah, it goes on. It's like, so it's like, different circumstances. Someone has a disease or some illness, and they've got to work it out what it is, and then perform the surgery.
It's like a detective show, right?
Yeah, detective show in a hospital.
In a hospital, yeah.
No, it's terrible, absolutely. So
Is
I
he,
just
is
thought I'd
he
tell
good?
you
Because
not
he
to
won a
watch
lot
that.
of awards for playing that part.
He's good. I've always liked him, especially in Jeeves and Wooster. I thought he was at his prime then. And
Have you watched him in either Veep or Avenue 5?
Oh,
the
Veep.
The Armando Iannucci ones, yeah.
Absolutely. I've not seen Avenue 5 yet. I love Veep though.
I mean, he's very funny. He suits comedy, obviously.
Oh yeah, he's got the face for it.
Yeah. Oh, I mean, I've seen neither. I mean, don't ever ask me about watching films and TV shows. For someone that works within this industry, I don't watch jack shit. It's so bad. It's
not at all. I'm with you, Kat, as well, because it's like when we've got time off and you just want to go out and do something completely different, unassociated.
Either that, or if you are doing something like painting or whatever, I just like to have something that I've seen before in the background, like just is easy listening. And that's terrible, isn't it? There's so much.
Because I get that, because you're concentrating. I know it's not the same, but when I'm doing like a schedule or something, I always have something on. I mean, I always need something on.
Yeah.
I think it's our generation almost that we always need that input. But
yeah,
it can't be something new.
No,
Otherwise,
I mean, it just reminds me of being a kid or being 10 years old, and your parents would always have the television on. So it's always that sort of background noise that you would always have. But I mean, there's so many things that I'm dying to watch. Like obviously I've never seen Game of Thrones or Breaking Bad or the Titanic, for instance. Gonna get a lot of hate mail for that one right there. That's bad, isn't it? Like
was that Titanic? Sorry, you slightly broke up. Titanic.
Yeah.
Okay.
Never
I've not seen it either.
Have you not? Right, okay, thank God for that. I know what happened.
There was an interval in the Campbelltown version of Titanic, and they walked out during the interval, which to me is mad, because then you're like, you missed the good bit where the boat sank. You just watched all the other bit.
Why?
Too much emotion going on in that film.
Clear.
Too much.
No,
Just
we
want
know
to see
what
something
happens.
sinking.
We know they hit an iceberg. I mean, that's it. And Leo has some fun in a car. I know what happens. I don't need to see it. I think it's just becoming a novelty.
I've been trying to catch up on all the cinema that I feel really stupid that I haven't. Like you're sitting in a conversation with like a director and a DOP, and they're talking about all these films that you don't have a Scooby about. So I've been trying to do some of them. Some Fellini, some Kurosawa. We did some Jacques Tati, who's like the Charlie Chaplin of French cinema. We did a film of his called Playtime. So, like, I'm not saying I understand them, but at least I've seen them now,
So you can join in the conversation when everyone's talking about it.
Or just, like, smile and wave in the background.
I've seen Chocolat with Johnny Depp. I have seen that one, so
Nice. I've seen that. Was it good? Would you recommend? Is it good?
It was a very long time ago I watched it, but it was okay. I mean, it was about chocolate, so it was great,
It's light-hearted,
fantastic,
isn't it?
yeah. Oh, God.
So, guys, talking about kind of background and all that kind of stuff, have you guys, I mean, surely you've been roped in to be, as an extra on film, TV or adverts, so, which we all have from that laugh. So, tell me about an experience you had. Let's go to your worst one that you've had, the most embarrassing one. The most embarrassing one.
Embarrassing?
Go on, let's hear it.
Don't think I've really had an embarrassing one. I've had a lot of good ones. And Maddie, you and I have been an extra together.
Oh, do tell. I want to
We
hear
have, yeah.
We were, it's when we worked on Caliber, that feature film a couple of years ago. And it was just, we were just doing a bar scene, they needed punters, so Maddie and I were in the bar having a drink. Although in saying that, I got used as an extra again. It was a different scene, and I was sat with a family, so I was sat with this random fucking family. This older extra who I do know from Outlander, I can't remember his name, and then two young girls, so we were pretending to have a family dinner at the back of this scene, and the older extra kept whispering under his breath that, "Eat your fucking dinner, I'll bury you where I buried your mother." Like whispering it to the two young girls in the scene.
God.
It was the funniest. We were all cackling away, and I'm pretty sure you can actually see it at the back of the film as well. It was the funniest.
Well, just the shoulders moving up and down.
Oh, so funny.
Love it.
I forgot about that right up
bit.
until this moment. That's a good memory. Yeah.
What about you, Rory?
I can't think of embarrassing. I mean, I've been in so many things that Charmaine wants to do a show reel for me.
You have
to.
I know, right? Which is essentially just going to be the back of my head loads of time. The most embarrassing one was actually when I was a student. My friend decided to do a documentary about the Western Bar, which is a strip bar up in what is commonly called the Pubic Triangle of Edinburgh. And, they needed somebody to get a dance, and so there is footage that exists of me getting a dance from a lady in a strip bar, and all you can see is the back of my head going beetroot, and then it got shown at the film house, and my mum watched it. So great!
My
Yay!
God! We have to find this footage and we can put it on our
we
Instagram.
don't. I mean, I know
It's the back of your head. It's fine. You know.
I've got a very distinctive back of my head, I think. But,
What was the name of the film, Rory?
not telling you.
Oh, come on. Right, Kat, we're on the search.
Damn it. I'm sure there's going to be a credit for you somewhere, Rory. Like, we're going to have to find this.
Do you ever, like, any of the shots that you've been an extra in where you've had to, like, walk or, like, do some background, whatever, chat?
There is a
or
famous
walking?
photograph of me running as a car flips in the background during World War Z that made the front of newspapers all across the world.
Whoa!
So, yeah. So,
Didn't know that.
So the next day, as I was going into work, my mate, because Australia is a different time, called me at 6 a.m. saying, "You're on the front of the newspaper here." I was like, "What? Why?" Yeah, and it was because I was doing my action, like a really, particularly at the time, tubby Bruce Willis, I would say, kind of action one. Kind of thing, as a car flips in the background. It was really, I mean, I framed it, I put it on my bathroom wall for years. It's a great photo.
Oh, that's amazing. You're running as in running AD running, not running as an extra running.
Because we were in amongst them, because we had to because there were 600,
Oh,
so we
I
had to.
see.
We were in costume with our coverts and stuff, and so I'm
I love that.
honestly giving it a full on sprint. I mean, I look good. What
You
can I
were
say?
in your element.
Oh, I was so happy. Yeah.
Brilliant.
I mean, yeah, I've
I
been
don't
in
know.
so many things. It's crazy. Yeah.
I don't know about you guys, but there's like I always go really funny when I'm on camera. Like that's why I'm behind it all the time.
Yeah,
'Cause,
agreed.
I got so we had this. I was working on this BBC TV drama called Grey Area drama, sorry, and it was like a scene where it was like all these hip hop artists and they were singing and there was like a big dance going on downstairs, and I was at the corner just doing kind of final checks, and then they were like, right, rolling, and I was like, oh shit. So I got caught in the scene, so I had to pretend like I was like in with the crowd and dancing, but I ended up doing a really funny dance, like I can't dance, and then always end up staring right at the camera as well, and I'm like, oh fuck, get me off this. Like,
Pleading
terrible.
with the first AC. Cut
I'm
it,
like,
please.
Cut the extra. Oh god. So yeah, I'm not good at it, so I try and avoid it as much as possible.
Oh no, I put my
Right.
hand out. I think I'm a trapped actor inside. You know what I mean? I'm always like,
Oh, you are. Well, I remember I saw your moves on the dance floor in the last SFTN short we did together.
Yeah. Let's hope that stays on the edit room floor. It's not out yet. In fact, that scene's been cut quite heavily. I know it has. So.
Oh no, we've been cut out of
God
it.
damn it.
Shit.
I'm dying to see some of your moves, Rory.
Just wait for the rat parties.
Oh, I mean, I actually love being in the background. I think it's hilarious. A couple of years ago, I worked on Billy Piper's Rare Beasts, which I think it's just been released. It got released kind of tail of last year. And it was just me and the designer, Bethany Swan. And so obviously I was on set basically with the actors, and Beth would be doing other things. But they needed extras because we were filming down on the Victoria line in London, so on the tube. So they'd rented out, I think, 2 carriages just for us. So for all of our equipment, but because there wasn't a lot of room, myself and the third had to just sit in and be extras. And basically for 2 hours I just sat and did a Sudoku puzzle. It was fucking great. But there was one moment, like, so this young couple were having this argument on the tube, and we had to react with our best, giving it laldy, judging faces. And I haven't actually seen it yet. I'm dying to see it though, because I'm in also a full length leather jacket on a tube, and I've got sunglasses on. I fucking look like
Matrix.
I was about to say, I looked like Keanu Reeves doing a Sudoku puzzle. It's the stupidest thing. I think they just really liked the jacket I was wearing, but I wasn't allowed to take it off. I honestly thought I was about to die at the end of that 2 hours. Like, pissing with sweat. It was horrendous. But yet to find it though. I was quite proud of it, so yeah.
Oh, could you send us a wee screenshot of it?
I'll try. Yeah, I'll try and find it, and then.
Perfect.
Oh god, getting my continuity photos taken by costume.
Yeah.
Like, I can do my own photos for makeup. It's fine.
That's amazing.
I love it. I
nice
just
one.
love getting involved. I think it's great.
It is fun. I'm just terrible. Just don't put me in front of the camera ever again.
Like, I would honestly love to do something period where you get like all the wigs and you know, like the big dresses and stuff, and then you do something like a dance. Or I would love to do that. Like, I just think it'd be great. No? Anyone?
Yeah, no, well,
Yeah,
yes,
no,
no,
I do.
absolutely,
I think it'd be
absolutely.
fun.
But I think you should do it. Embrace it. Go do it.
Yeah.
We'll get you involved. I'll sign you up. No problem. We'll get you in it.
Rory, I just think you and I should be an extra together. We'll just
We would
go in
cause
together.
so much trouble. Can you imagine the devastation we would cause? They'd get nothing shot.
They would. I mean, we would literally be ejected after the first couple of hours. Let's be fair. Like, ejected without pay, so, and blacklisted on all of the extra fucking.
I don't know. I remember again. I know. Bring it up again. World War Z. I just remember the extras who would come in the morning and then go and sit in the pub all day and then come back and get their chits at the end of the day. And I only think, well done. Do you know what I mean? Like, well done.
Oh yeah.
Clever.
Yeah.
Very clever. I mean,
Congratulations.
who's gonna fucking know? Like, they're not in wigs or big costumes, are they? So.
No, and all these people came up from London and thought they could run it with, without Scottish ADs like controlling it. So good luck to them,
Wow. Ooh, that
Anyway,
is
I'll bring
cheeky.
it back in.
Yeah. Well, this is a platformed event, so
Yes.
I also love like a low budget party scene where people are actually allowed to drink as well. That always turns
that's
slightly
dangerous.
chaotic, doesn't
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, yes.
Well, I mean, Maddie and I have stories to tell you about shooting in forests, where maybe more than one scene may have been alcohol driven. As an AD, it was a challenging environment to work in.
That
I would
whole
say.
shoot, Rory, was full of alcohol. Like pretty
Not
much
just the
every single day.
extras.
I mean,
No.
I would say after wrap, every night, and it was a very small crew, we would drink at
Yeah.
least 2 bottles of grouse every night. And that
Oh, yeah.
was,
At
that was
least.
just,
Ooh.
yeah, it was good
What-
fun. We made lifelong friends on that job.
Aw.
We did.
I love
Yeah.
jobs like that though. When it is sort of like skeleton crew, hardly any people. It's the best fun though. It's
Well,
so
I met
much
Maddie
fun.
there, so here we are some years later.
What was it? Was it an advert?
It was called Bodkin Ras. It was a Dutch feature, which was actually, well, Maddie and I have maybe slightly different views on the finished product, but it was one of the best things I worked on. Personally, the way I look at it, it was just,
The memories of it, like with everyone that I was working with, like yourself and like just the whole crew, I loved that side of it. I always loved that. But I mean, the actual, like, I'll be honest about it, the actual kind of film itself, I wasn't too keen on, but I still look at it with fond memories. So.
Well, we watched an awful lot of Alan Partridge during that.
Oh yeah, that got us through it. Definitely.
You filmed that just before Calibre, didn't you?
Mm.
Yes.
Yeah, because I remember you
that was
telling me
before.
about it. Was it not like... Did you not have wine at lunch? No, is that something else that I'm making up?
I think you'll find it was breakfast.
Yeah, that was kind of throughout the
Little
day.
mimosa for
So-
breakfast getting you
No,
through.
I'm not saying that I'm drinking on the job, guys. Here,
No,
that
it
kind of
wasn't.
stuff, but,
Honestly, it wasn't like that. Honestly, Wendy Griffin,
No.
if you're listening, that never happened. But
Dearie me.
it was just I just remember us because it's like forest. It's quite a small kind of place up north, and obviously we were in all the local newspapers. Film crew coming over and all that kind of stuff. And didn't we get chased out of the town at one point?
I had 2 death threats. Well, during
yes,
that time.
yeah.
Two
Yeah.
death threats. Yeah.
What happened?
They were probably right.
They thought that we were taking the piss out of everyone there by what we were filming.
We were filming the local alcoholics, so the community
Yeah.
was concerned that their town would be shown in a bad light. But actually,
Yeah.
rather lovely, when we did the screening in the town, everybody really liked it and thought it was quite honest. And it's got a really sad
Very
heart to it, this story about about a
really
guy
is.
who lives in the town who's both his sons committed suicide. Real true story,
Jesus.
that they built a drama around, essentially. So it has got a very emotionally resonant story for the town that I think was portrayed in a really nice way. So
But obviously, it's like at the
we showed
time
a
when you're
truth, and it
filming.
wasn't a truth
yeah.
that people necessarily wanted to see, but it was
Yes. Yeah.
Wow.
Definitely.
That sounds
But
great.
no, it was. It was a fun experience staying in our little caravans as well.
So did you go from caravans from that to caravans on Calibre?
Pretty much.
You
Yeah.
just spent a full year in a caravan,
Yeah,
didn't
just
you?
caravan. Yeah, mind you, but we had a luxury caravan on Calibre.
Yeah,
so
we did.
We had the show
Oh,
home.
We had the
which was quite
showroom
nice.
caravan.
We did.
I mean, out
was
of
good.
one set of the Sparks, was it 3 Sparks in one caravan? And they had a radiator in each of their rooms, but any time they tried to put all 3 radiators on, it would fuse the other ones.
Yeah.
And it was like, oh god. And obviously it was the middle winter.
I
used to
nearly
come
burnt
over and be
down
like,
the
"Can
tall
we have
ship
your
in River
place?"
City doing the same thing once.
What?
Yeah, I put in too many radiators without speaking to the Sparks. Always speak to the Sparks when
Always
you plug things
speak to
in.
the Spark. Yeah.
Yeah, and I put on one too many radiators and nearly burnt down the exterior set of the tall ship. So
Oh my god!
good time.
So many years ago, they're fine.
Shit happened.
Oh Jesus. Oh my god, that's worst nightmare stuff, isn't it?
Oh well, I mean we've all done it. Like I remember walking and right onto the set when they were filming when I was first starting. Like, what are you doing? We're actually filming. I was like, oh sorry. My makeup bag's like total like a knob. Do you know what I mean? So
God.
We've
Sorry
all got
about
our
that.
stories.
Have you walked onto set at the wrong time?
Yeah, I must have. Maybe
Mine
I've just blocked
mine-
it in my memory.
Mine was in Danny's house, where one of the actresses, it was her last ever scene on the show. She'd been on it for years, and they were filming this last ever scene, and she was in emotional tears. She was like, it was her last scene, it was the character's last scene, and I just walked straight through that bugger, like, anybody want a cup of tea? And actually, nobody was angry with me at all, because they all knew that no right-thinking human would have done that on purpose. Bless them,
Yeah.
Oh,
you broke our concentration.
Yeah.
Great.
Can anybody can you make those tears look real this time?
Yes.
I can't actually think about walking out onto set at the wrong time. Although, I've just remembered another point of me being an extra. I had to be in the background of this university scene on Clique on the second series. How did I get wrangled into these things, honestly?
Well, it's probably me, because I was the second AD.
It was you! Yes! There was a connection! Well, here I am. I sit down and I'm meant to be the student and I'm studying and that. And the 2 props boys, Stuart and Sean, give me a book about vaginas and labias and shagging and all that sort of stuff. And this is what I'm reading while on screen. So Fantastic.
Do you actually see that on screen?
No.
Oh, that's alright.
But I know it's there because I'm looking at a gaping vagina. So, yeah, wasn't great. Wasn't great.
Wow. Shout out to the props boys. Well done,
Shout
lads.
out
at least
to
you had some
Sean
material.
Stewart. Oh, dearie me.
No,
Well,
it's
guys,
good. I do enjoy
I
it.
can't wait for all of us to work with each other again.
I know, it's been nice to see you guys even in through this, you know.
But yeah, no, it's thank you so much, Rory, for
No, thank you. It's
for
been,
coming on,
it's
and
been an
like,
absolute pleasure.
Oh, it's been so lovely
good.
catching up because haven't seen you in so long now. I can't remember
know.
the last time we saw each other.
Well, it would be Cleek, probably.
Was it? God, so 2 years ago.
Mm.
Is that right?
Blimmin' heck.
God, that makes
Oh,
me
and
sad.
by the way, your paintings are awesome, and I might have to commission you.
Yes.
They are amazing, Kat.
Oh, thank you. I mean, I've just so enjoyed it. Like, if lockdown didn't happen, I don't think I would have taken it up again. And that's quite a sad thing to say, but I've just had the time to get back into it and know that I can do it, you know? It's like getting back on that bike that I never thought I could get back on again.
Well, more
So-
power to your elbow.
Yes.
So good.
Well,
oh,
if you would like any paintings, Rory, you know where I am. 'Cause, I mean, I'm loving the
are
sci-fi.
you making a deal over this podcast tonight?
So I'm just I'm gonna advertise myself right here. If anyone, no, I'm kidding. I'm
Do
kidding. But obviously because I know that you love your sci-fi and that's what I enjoy painting as well. So
Well, they live painting which you put up on Facebook made me smile and smile and smile. It's awesome.
They Live. Oh, it's just fucking Kurt Russell. Just the most fantastic film. And obviously it's gone. Like, I sold that painting, so it's away to its new home. I was going to do a British version as well with the British flag, but haven't got round to it yet. So. I know.
There you go.
I feel like it's a good time
Rory.
to do that. You know?
Sold.
Oh.
That's awesome. Thank you so much,
Thanks,
guys.
Maddy. Thank you for organising. Amazing.
Oh, no. Thanks for coming on board. And we'll hopefully see you all soon. And thanks to everybody for listening to the broadcast. And who knows who's going to be on the next one.
I know. Week 2
So
of the
tune in.
broadcast. So
Woo!
thanks, everybody.
Thanks, guys.
See you later.
Bye. Bye.